In the corporate world, Joshua worked for Enterprise Rental where he managed 2 part-time employees, bringing monthly revenue of $53,000. His branch received high awards for passing the National Customer Service Score 3 consecutive months. Currently, he serves as president of the Greenville Toastmasters Club of Toastmasters International Public Speaking, ranking number 5 in the state of North Carolina. In addition to serving as president, Joshua operates a public speaking coaching and training company called Spoken Solutions. He has even coached several of our students this year, preparing them for the regional contest held earlier in the year where one of the students won top 10 in the region. Joshua has shown great skill and understanding of the business world and continually grows, being he is only 26 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the stage Joshua Burney.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everyone doing tonight? Good. That's good, folks. So first off, I want to thank Mr. Ward for inviting me to be here tonight. It is great. It is a great opportunity. It is a great privilege to be here. I also want to thank Kristen and Barrett. I actually coached both of them early in the year, and it has been a great pleasure to be able to see them again and continually see their progress. So thank you all so much. Thank you, FBLA. Thank you, A.G. Cox Middle School, for just providing the kids with the opportunity to be active and to succeed. Thank you to the parents for all you continually do. You all sacrifice day in and day out for your kids to have a foundation to really begin to be active in school and to really set a good foundation for their future. So thank you very much. And lastly, and most importantly, thank you to the students. Everybody here that has participated all year long. To be here at the end of the year shows great strength, shows dedication to all the hard work that you all have put in all year. So give yourselves a big round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause. Oh, and before I forget, thank you Moore's Barbecue for catering the event tonight. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I actually have this rule to where whenever I'm going to go speak places, I don't eat until afterwards. So right now, my stomach is touching the back of my neck. So I'm really looking forward to the food. And I'm very excited because in most cases, when you go places in the cater, or for example, you go to someone's house to eat, the food doesn't turn out that good, right? And so to not hurt their feelings, you do one or two things. Either you eat the food anyway in hopes that they don't ask you how the food was, or you find creative ways to get rid of the food, right? I always did the second choice. So one thing that I would do was I would put my napkin right under my plate and then spill the food onto the napkin and ball it up and put it in my pocket. Or my personal favorite, I would actually eat just enough of the food and then spread the rest around the plate to make it look like there's not a lot left. Has anyone else done that other than me? That was actually my personal favorite. So I actually am grateful because they're catering today. I don't have to worry about that. But as I've gotten older and I've realized how much courage it actually takes to find ways to get rid of the food. Because if the person catches you, you will actually end up hurting their feelings a lot more, right? So I never really thought about the fact that I could use that same courage to just simply tell them the truth. And the truth doesn't have to be mean, it would just have to be a situation to where I say, well, that wasn't my favorite item, or I just possibly don't eat the meal at all. And I actually found that that's what we do as adults, and that's what we do as children, is that we actually have courage, we just don't use that courage to tell the truth. We do it when we're in school, you do it with bullying, you do it with sex and drugs. So with school, for example, the work actually is hard for you. I mean, you actually are sitting in class struggling, trying to do the homework, you're not doing too well in class or on the test. And so the truth is, you really do need help. But you don't want to raise your hand because you don't want to look dumb in front of your classmates. And so you find creative ways to deal with the fact that you don't understand the work, right? You start acting out in class. You begin to get on your phone, you start becoming the class clown, and you start talking to your neighbors. Well, do you know how much courage it takes to talk in class even though your teachers tell you to not talk? Do you know how much courage it takes to be able to get on your phone knowing that the rules tell you to not be on your phone? So that's why you have the courage, you just have to have the courage to tell the truth. The same thing goes for when the work is easy for you. Some people are gifted, and they usually are one of the first people to finish their work. So what do they do to deal with it? They sit there, they may start daydreaming, they start drawing on their desk, they even may start talking or getting on their phone, or some people may go to sleep. But the truth is, you actually need harder work. But you don't say anything because you either don't want to seem too smart in front of people, or you just want to be lazy and you don't want any extra work. And so you just sit there for the rest of the day. So it's a difficult place to be in, to where when you need help, you don't say anything. But when you need harder work, you don't say anything. And that puts you right into the middle, and that causes you to be average. But again, you have courage. Just use that courage to tell the truth. The same thing goes for when a bully is approaching you. The truth is, you don't like it when someone talks about your shoes. You don't like it when someone talks about your hair, and you don't like it when someone talks about your clothes. Yet, whenever those situations arise, you don't say anything, and you possibly just walk away. 10 out of every 10 kids that's bullied, 7 of them don't say anything at all. So what do you do how to handle those situations? Well, that's where it comes from telling the truth. You have the courage to not say anything. You have the courage to walk away. So you actually have that same courage to go and tell that bully, hey, stop talking about me, because you don't like to be talked about. You also take that same courage to go and tell your teachers and your parents that, hey, someone is bothering me. This is a big deal because too many kids are actually afraid to go to school. Too many kids are afraid to go to a certain class, and too many kids are afraid to ride the bus because they're afraid to get bullied. So you have the courage to say nothing. Now just use the courage to say something. And lastly, with drugs and sex. Now honestly, I was a little iffy talking about this, but you all are getting older. Many of you are going to high school, many of you are going to the 7th or 8th grade, and you are being approached about these things more and more. You are being exposed to these things more and more. Through music, through TV, through movies, through social media. Everyone else talks about it. But the truth is, you really don't know much about it. I mean, I'm 26 and I'm married, and I'm still learning about these things. So it's very difficult when you don't know what to do in these situations, how to deal with these situations. So you may be pressured into doing something that you don't know much about. And how do you deal with it? You do it anyway. Why? Because you're afraid. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to tell that person no. Well, you actually have the courage to tell them no. You just decided to do it anyway. That's why it takes courage whenever you approach in these situations to tell that person that's pressuring you, no, I won't do it. No, don't touch me. No, I don't feel like being bothered today. And it also takes courage to go and tell your parents, to go and tell your teachers, hey, so-and-so is doing this. So-and-so wants me to do this. Yes, it is a very difficult thing to do. Because that's an awkward conversation. I mean, you and your friends talk about it all day. Everyone else talks about it all day. So you might as well have the courage to talk about it with your teachers and with your parents. Today, I want you all to realize is that you all have courage. The fact that you are in FBLA and you stayed in it all year long shows that you actually have the courage. So I want you all to remember, just use that same courage to tell the truth when these situations occur. And this is important for when you get older and when you start getting into business, because it's going to take courage to tell your boss or your coworker, I need help making this sale. I need help with this computer program. It's going to take courage to hire people. It's going to take courage to fire people. It's going to take courage to tell your wife or your husband, hey, I'm going to leave my job to start a business. It even takes courage to hand someone a business card. So that's why I'm stressing this point of practicing it now in school with bullying, with sex, and with drugs, because when you start getting into business, that's easy compared to all these other areas of your life. As future business leaders of America, End of this world, it's gonna take courage to run it. It's gonna take truth to run it. And you have to be willing to step up to the plate when that time arrives. I'll leave you with this quote. Thomas Edison says, courage is not allowing your actions to be influenced by fear. You really may be afraid to ask for harder work or for help in your class. You're gonna be scared when you tell that bully to leave me alone, or telling your teacher or your parent. You're gonna be scared talking about sex and drugs with your parents. But it's something that you must do, because if you do that, then you will be great and things will be easier for you. And to the parents, you all have a responsibility as well. You have to set that example for your children and use that same courage that your kids is using and you expect them to use to state the expectation for your children. Say the expectation of what you want them to do when these situations arise, because you know, if they haven't already, they will be coming very soon. You also have to have the courage to create the environment for communication so your kids will feel comfortable in approaching you about these things. And you also have to have the courage to genuinely just go up to your kids and ask them, has this happened yet? It's not an easy conversation on both ends, but it's something that matters. The future business leaders of this world are counting on you to use that same courage that you encourage them to use every single day. So again, you all have courage. The kids have courage. The adults have courage. Just use that courage to tell the truth. Thank you.